Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring a Steven Universe, Miraculous Ladybug, New Powerpuff Girls, and Star vs. the Forces of Evil. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Suitcase Sam Quattro.
What? What? No, suitcase.
Suitcase Sam Quattro, yeah, that's...
I thought you said suke. I was like, what does that mean?
No, you're Suitcase Sam now, so
I
we'll
am
now
Suitcase
refer
Sam.
to her as Suitcase Sam.
Yep.
And you're the secret Suitcase Sam that we've all been hearing about.
Yep.
It's exposed. Suitcase Sam exposed hashtag. Yep. We will be talking today about the June 26th episode of Summer of Steven Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service. We cover every episode of Steven Universe and the Summer of Steven / Steven Summer Adventures here on the Overly Animated Podcast. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com or search for the Overly Animated Podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher.
I'm surprised that we're covering every single one.
Well, we'll see about it in the beginning of next week. But yeah, this is fun, huh? Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not the one on every one of them, so
Yeah, so yeah, it's a lot, but these are we're definitely gonna get in some good stuff soon, so it's gonna be fun. But today we have we'll discuss Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service before these explosive next 2 days. It's gonna be
explosive.
Potentially Friday too. Friday also is gonna be big. So
what episodes are happening?
Tomorrow is Monster Reunion. No spoilers though. Of course, no spoilers for anything on this podcast.
Yeah.
Thursday is Alone at Sea.
Okay.
And then Friday is Greg the Babysitter.
Okay.
I agree. Which is more consequential than I thought it would be. So that's
from what the grapevine has been saying.
Yeah. Apparently, Matt Burnett's spoiler please did not work. Apparently, because we subsequently got the Greg the Babysitter details.
Really, I didn't see those.
Anyway,
gotta search those out when we're done.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Anyway, let's get into Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service. Sam. What are your general thoughts on this episode? Suitcase Sam. What are your
Suitcase
thoughts?
Sam?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I wasn't expecting much from it, and we didn't really get much. So I'm not to say it was bad. It was just it's just.
What are your thoughts on Kiki?
Okay, so I didn't know. Obviously, I know now, but beforehand, I didn't really know that Kiki and Jenny were twins.
Yeah.
I guess it's been mentioned before, and I just didn't pay attention. I always thought that Kiki was a slightly younger sister, maybe a year or two younger than Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Are you favorable on Kiki?
Yeah, Kiki's nice. I like Kiki.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, we'd heard that they were twins way back in season 1 or something.
Yeah. So
someone said it on the podcast last week. So props to them. But I don't remember who. It was obviously not me either. But yeah, this was okay. This episode, it was cute. It's there's a subtle amount of plot detail in it. We're slowly creeping into these Steven powers. Although this was slower than I thought. I thought we'd get more than this, but
that's a scary power, being able to infiltrate somebody's dreams.
Oh yeah, and it seemed like he kind of controlled it too.
I hate it. I don't like it.
Well, that'll be our main discussion point, I assume, today, because there's not much else other than Kiki's character. But yeah, it was a fine episode. It was okay. I'd prefer they didn't do those things. I think there's a way to do this episode that has more growth for Steven. I don't think Steven's character really budged. I think that ultimately so first of all, I really liked Kiki in this episode. The past 2 episodes, Kiki's been super cute and great. And she's awesome, but I don't care about her because she's not a presence on the show. It's these characters
I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, it's okay. I assume we're saying the character's too minor. She's super minor character.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Yesterday and today, or maybe the first times we've seen her in a while. I don't know, a season.
In terms of airing, a year and a half or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so
it's you could call this a Kiki growth episode, but I don't care about Kiki, right? So it's ultimately inconsequential to the larger show, and she probably won't show up again for another year. So this has to have done something for Steven, and it does detail Steven's powers a little more, but ultimately it doesn't really move the needle. So this is kind of one of these unsubstantial episodes that I was talking about, that the show should probably avoid.
Filler.
Yeah, I mean, like I think that there's filler episodes that are substantial to character.
Yeah.
I like last week's new Lars. I think was substantial to Steven and Lars and Sadie, who are characters we actually do care about because they're in the show more than Kiki. But that's a little bit of a finicky designation. But at the same time, there's nothing here that's going to affect anything we ever see again. So it's the episode probably has to be really good to make up for that. And this episode wasn't really good. It was fine, but
Yeah, I
like
agree.
like I'll take this over the 3 last week, which I wasn't crazy about. Like I don't know, I'll take this over last Friday's. I know most people disagree, but it's there's moments of this I liked, and this episode as another. This feels like a season 1 episode. It was a Steven helps a minor character, and then there's kind of this progressive moral at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Stick up for yourself. Okay, good job. I'm
Yeah, express what you need in the face of somebody that you love who you don't want to disappoint.
Exactly. Which is something a lot of us need to hear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yes.
Like I felt that, but
Yeah.
like at the same time, that doesn't necessarily make for a great episode, especially if it's 11 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just feeling so like inconsequential.
Yeah. I agree. It felt really inconsequential. I don't know. I like yesterday's episode did more fun things with characters we don't care about, at least.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
This wasn't fun. This was just like
I think Kiki's too nice to like
to have. She's too nice to have fun.
She's too nice to like carry an episode. Like she's kind of boring because she's so nice. Like
I agree. Actually,
Yeah.
like I don't want to like badmouth Kiki because I like she's nice. She's a good like if she were a real person, I'd hang out with her. But
yeah.
like as far as being a character on a television show, I don't know. She can't.
She's too boring. She's a great character to have on the show.
Yeah.
Just like her personality type and like her overall like what she is. Like it's like who she is and like everything about them, and I don't know. It's a good character, and I like how we've expanded her, and it's also just nice to have like a nice person. Like I don't know who else I like. Buck Dewey, I guess, has also just recently been presented as kind of like this nice person. But
I don't like Buck that much, but that's
I don't even remember the last time.
that's
he
a
was on the
story.
show.
He was on the show on your new
Yeah,
favorite
he was,
episode.
other than New Lars, I don't remember the last time he was on the show, but that's okay.
Probably like the guitar dad or whatever.
Yeah,
When he makes the t-shirts.
yeah. That's so long. But yeah, I think that the show kind of needs to find its footing. Like the show was one thing in season 1 in the first half of season 1, and then for most of since Jailbreak, it's been another thing. And if it wants to be the other thing, then it shouldn't go back to what it was before in season 1. I think there's a way to integrate these elements, these minor characters, these not plot episodes. But I think when you just have entire episodes about the minor Beach City characters, then it feels like our main characters aren't getting a lot. Like at this point, when's the last time I cared about Amethyst? It's been months and maybe a year. Like
You didn't care about her last week?
what did she do last week?
She hung out with us in Peridot.
Yeah, that was again. Peridot steals the show. I did care about it, and I praised Amethyst's characterization with regards to Peridot in that episode. But still, I didn't even remember. Like, I know the thing is we're getting Amethyst episodes next week, so that's good. But we're gonna have like tomorrow's a Lapis episode, and we're gonna have one Lapis episode in 3 weeks. Like, I just think that focusing on the minor characters is a pretty big thing for the show right now to get past if we want to like actually have a well-rounded expanded cast.
Maybe it's like a logistics thing and they just couldn't get the voice actresses for the gems.
Yeah, I think that's not true. Like people say that about Garnet's VA, and I think that's not true.
She is a tour musician, but
I know, but I also think that's not true. Like I would assume people make
Shrug.
these assumptions about
we
that.
haven't heard Garnet talk in like 5 years. So
Like people are like, oh, Garnet didn't speak at the end of the episode because they couldn't get Estelle. No, I don't think that's true. Like they could have. This episode is in production for a year and a half. Like they get her at some point to do something. Like then you can
True.
never just do
Yeah.
this episode.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of flawed logic, but it's more of just a decision. Garn's the character that doesn't talk a lot, even when she's like the focus of the episode.
True.
But I think it's just kind of a flawed vision of the show, and the reason they do this is because the only way to work in the minor characters in 11-minute episodes is to kind of focus one on them.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a consequence of the limitations of their format, and they also like to do one thing per episode. So it's like, okay, let's have this Kiki episode. Let's have
it's sort of like akin to what Adventure Time does all the time.
This episode feels very Adventure Time. Yeah, like
yeah.
So,
I was listening to one of our podcasts that we did on Adventure Time, and I guess we were talking about how it's just like this like village of like people that Finn and Jake have to visit every so often.
yeah,
Like once a season, there's like an episode on like Root Beer Guy or Tree Trunks or whatever, and it feels like that's what's happening with Steven Universe too.
Yeah, so we previously described. I'm surprised you were listening to an old Adventure Time podcast.
I listen to
That's
everything
interesting.
because I just want to hear my voice.
That's good. I mean, your voice is great, so that's good.
No, it doesn't, but okay.
Chime in on Suitcase Sam's voice in the comments.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, so I previously described Adventures. I think both of us. I think we both agree on this designation. Adventure Time seasons are kind of like this revolving like wheel of plots that they revisit every season. Like an Adventure Time season is like, okay, let's deal with what we dealt with in the finale. Now let's move on to like this existential Finn episode, this Finn's dad episode. Let's go to LSP. Let's have a Tree Trunks episode. And then they have these recurring plots. Like we have this BMO plot. We'll hit on that once a season. We have our mandatory bubbling episode, and like, oh, let's expand that into a miniseries this year. But it's still, they just rotate through their incredibly large, expansive world mythology. Justin, in articles on the overlyanimated.com blog, has called Adventure Time's like Adventure Time's mythology kind of the biggest on television right now and one of the biggest ever. And I think that's true. They have so many characters in so many places and so many plots. The thing is, Steven Universe is a different show, and it's inherently different with how much of a recurring plot they have. Adventure Time also has recurring plots, but it goes in a rotation through them, and it doesn't really deal with anything until the end. And the appeal of Adventure Time isn't them dealing with the appeal of Adventure Time is like us expanding like this alien race's like mythology and having the plot advance through that and meeting more people. The appeal of Adventure Time is kind of like the feel of watching it and like all these great characters and this giant mythology and like just this world and immersion, like world immersion. I think Steven Universe has so much more heavy of a plot element. I think that its world immersion is so much worse. I think that like Steven Universe is like a much better show than Adventure Time, although Adventure Time right now has actually been very good. But like think about it, whether you'd rather have a minor character episode, whether would I rather have a Root Beer Guy episode, or would I rather have a Kiki episode or an Onion episode? Like I Adventure Time's so much better at these one-off characters because they have so much of this better supporting mythology, whereas Steven Universe just has this undefined boardwalk of people who aren't very interesting, who are all kind of like these tropey people.
The boring boardwalk.
Yeah, I think that's kind of true, and I just think it's like a really big mistake for the show to go back to their origins, because really the show comes out of Adventure Time, and so it's Adventure Time for a little bit. But no, it's not that anymore. So let's just not do that. So it's not that, and it's not that they're like anything this show puts out is going to be fine at the very least because it's too good not for it to be. But at the same time, the show is capable of average episodes of television, and like half of the ones we've seen this since Summer Steven started, in my opinion, are like average television episodes. And for a show that I think is the best show on television when it's at its best, that's very discouraging for me. So there's Dylan's rant for today on this, and I know a lot of people aren't necessarily in disagreement, but that's the most I've kind of articulated it, and I think that's a pretty good representation of where I am with this. It doesn't mean you can't have character episodes if you're a plotty show. I think it's Steven Universe is never gonna have plot, but
the style that they're trying to go with it is just not working.
Right. It's not working to the extent that they can accomplish things. Like you just compare some of the episodes. I mean, for every Mr. Greg, there's a Stephen Floats or a Kiki's, and for every we went on a good string of episodes before this, but Um, I don't know. Like I look back on I'm looking back on the episode guide, and like I'm seeing like 10 episodes. I'm seeing as many episodes that are airing now as aired in like the past year, which I think is probably true. Anyway,
I think that's also like a problem with you're sort of feeling like stifled by all of these character episodes, like the airing schedule and how like this is just a month of nonstop airing essentially. And so there's really no room to breathe and
this episode works. I think this episode works better in this event than it
yeah.
would in a weekly. I'd be much more annoyed if this was our episode for the week.
Yeah. I think I definitely agree with that. I think it's akin to like the lighter like Steven Bomb episodes, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously this is a bigger Steven Bomb, but I know what you mean. There has to be like this kind of episode to break up all the plot and the mass airings, but at the same time, the last couple of episodes have been this. It's just been character episodes, so having them all like back to back to back to back
Yeah.
is just
We have gotten 4 now, but it's not even character episodes. It's like minor character episodes.
Yeah.
And I guess Beach City Drift you could argue is a Stevani episode, but it's like you can have a Lapis episode, or you can have, and that's the thing. We have all these major characters now, and we also have all this mythology to explore. I'm not even talking about the homeworld stuff, which there's going to be more interest. We're going to get 2 big mythological episodes the next 2 episodes, but we have this past mythology. We're going to get into that too. We have this. We have like just like they could just go to places. Like we don't even go anywhere anymore. Like we did in season 1. Like even that's kind of mythological.
Yeah, that's true. Like we're not going around the world dealing with corrupted gems anymore.
Which is fine. Like they've changed the plot in the show, but like with that, we should also move this stuff. It definitely feels like it's a season 1 throwback night now. I don't know.
Maybe it has to do with like them being at the barn for so long and Steven trying to, well, not like consciously, but like trying to reconnect Steven with Beach City as opposed to the barn. You know what I mean?
I do think that's what they're trying to do. Yeah. Yeah, and whatever their reasons are, and this is probably a good choice because apparently these last 2 weeks of the Summer of Steve are going to be absolutely crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard this. So
yes, I've heard this from Twitter.
From Matt Burnett on Twitter. Yes.
Yeah, he's like, for the love of God, don't spoil it.
Yeah.
It's like okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll try.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not the one with the powers, but
that's the thing. No one is the one with the powers when Cartoon Network just puts these things out there. It's not even like like intricate hacks. This is just them putting it out there basically. And they've also like started uploading these like 1-minute clips from each episode to try to like cover their tracks because they know the first 2 minutes will get out anyway, so they just put it in the official capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is a good idea if you're going to do it anyway. But at the same time, they also put out these like 2-second spoiler alert clips, which were their own doing. They aired these, and
really?
it gave away the content of tomorrow's episode. So
I didn't know that was Cartoon Network doing that.
I think that was Cartoon Network. Like maybe it was a clip from their servers, but like they made that clip. Like why would you make that clip like spoiling tomorrow's episode 2 weeks ago?
Maybe for the dumb kids who just don't care.
That's the thing. Cartoon Network like doesn't care, which is it's annoying. They obviously don't care too much about their established online fandom, to an extent where like Nick was like even much better at this with Korra.
Were they?
They had this Tumblr accounts that like specifically for fans of the show that engaged Korra fans, and like they did all this they actually tried, and Cartoon Network genuinely does not seem to. It's their network, it's their decision. I would say to the Steven Universe crew, like it's kind of your fault, like not your fault, but it's Cartoon Network's fault. It's not, you can't like be asking people to stop because it's just never going to happen. And it's also not their fault. It's Cartoon Network's fault. And I know you can't control Cartoon Network. Apparently they've tried to get them to stop doing the spoiler leaking. But, I don't know. It's Cartoon Network's show and you made this, you're working for them. It's kind of your boss's fault. So I don't know.
Just like having termites and not hiring an exterminator.
I guess.
I don't know.
I guess that's a good analogy. Anyway, we've gone very off topic here.
Yeah.
I guess, okay, there's one minor last thing I wanted to say about the Adventure Time comparison. Adventure Time has episodes without Finn and Jake, like a lot of them. This show is so Steven dependent. Like we have to stay with Steven in every single episode. And one of the big reasons Adventure Time I think succeeds with its weird rotating format is because it leaves Finn behind. Finn isn't a strong enough character to have him interact with a minor person every time and just have that be the show. Steven is a stronger character, but he's still not strong enough to just have it be interesting for him to interact with people we don't care about and have that be good enough.
Well, I don't know. If you look back on Adventure Time, excluding Finn didn't really start to happen until maybe season 3 or season 4.
Yeah, for a while it was more like this. I agree, but its current state is
so
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it'll like grow to a.
And I think Adventure Time got better though.
I agree.
It had its standout episodes in the first few seasons, but like it's generally better now.
Yeah, totally. Like definitely.
And I think that's a big reason why that we're not so beholden to Finn, who's not that strong. Like Finn's like not he's fine. At sometimes he's a very strong character, but he's not. No one's strong enough to anchor every episode in the face of a revolving, expansive mythology.
Yeah.
Like this isn't how like shows work. Like I mean. This is how some shows work, obviously, like this show, but it's I don't know. And like Steven Universe is still beholden to the Steven perspective thing. And I think I say this, they've written the episodes that are coming 2 years ago, but I hope 2 years ago they sat down and reevaluated what's working in a very broad perspective, what's not working, and where we should go with from there.
Well, just take the Steven out of Steven Universe. Just make the show Universe.
Just Universe, yeah.
Just Universe.
Broad show name. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not advocating for taking Steven out of the show, but
well, obviously, it's just like I guess since the show is like his name, he's sort of a given that he'll be involved.
Change the name. That's the only way to fix this, says Sam. Yep. Anyway,
obviously that is the only way. So
there's our 20-minute off-topic discussion.
That really was 20 minutes.
Here's let's quickly go through Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service. Boarded by Jeff Liu and Colin Howard. His first episode boarding after Joe Johnson moved on to be a director of the show. Colin Howard was a character designer for the show and is now moving to be a storyboard artist and writer. So he's internal, but yeah. So
for some reason I thought it was like Colin from like Korra.
Colin Heck would be great. Colin Heck's great. We should get him for the show.
I thought it was Colin Heck for a second.
That'd be great. He's great. Anyway, I mean, we have Avatar directors appearing on Star vs. the Force of Evil. Maybe we should get some Korra directors on Steven Universe. That'd be good. Anyway, for a second, the title Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service. This episode did not have anything to do with Kiki's Delivery Service.
No, it didn't.
No,
there's barely any delivery.
The best comparison is that there's some deliveries and both Kikis are nice people.
Yeah. There's no bikes or like witches or anything like that. It's just not even any cats.
They both were similarly had very little plot. So that's another comparison. Yeah. Correctly, the Kiki's Delivery Service entitled episode has very little plot. Should we have our mini Kiki's Delivery Service discussion? No.
Dude, it's been like probably over a decade since I've seen Kiki.
Okay, we'll need to rewatch that and then
obviously
podcast on Kiki's Delivery Service. I'm a fan, although that's not a top tier Miyazaki movie, IMO. Anyway, let's get into okay, I say 25 minutes in. Steven prepping for me time, 2 forks. I don't know if we need to go through all of that. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. OJ.
So Steven just prepping for me time. I'm just getting fancy.
Two plastic forks, fancy OJ mood lighting, fancy decor.
Okay, who drinks orange juice with their pizza?
Yeah, that's kind of I don't know about that.
I don't understand. I don't understand people who like orange juice just in general.
It's fine. It's fine, Sam.
I don't like orange juice.
Don't. That's one of the least things you need to worry about understanding with the world. There's much more questionable things in the world.
Sam's just
yeah. That's the least of our concerns is understanding.
And oranges at large.
Oranges at large. Oh, that's a controversial.
Yeah, I don't like oranges.
I don't know about
that.
They're
my least favorite fruit.
Oh yeah. I feel like there's fruits you like less. We could probably get into that, but there's a lot of fruits. There's a lot of fruits, Sam. Kiki, the whole thing with the car. They blew out the car because blasting sour creams mixtapes blew out the tires. I didn't know those tracks were so dirty," said Steven.
Okay.
The show putting in language like that is always interesting.
That is very interesting. That's like something that I don't think Steven would say, but he did.
He did, so that's interesting.
He did that.
Looks fancy. You having someone cute over besides me?
Oh.
Yeah, that's good. You're running to deliver the other pizzas. I liked the pizza time. Woo! Cut to Steven like asleep with the pizza on himself.
That's essentially me. Just like I'll eat like a whole pizza by myself and just fall asleep.
I feel like common thing, I guess. Steven's in the stream, him making SU the initials. Those initials are looking pretty slick, Steven. I don't know if we've had an SU blatant shout out in the show before.
That isn't a shout out. That's just initials.
It's just his initials, but like it's our abbrev for the show. You know,
okay,
so.
Whatever. Who has dreams like this?
I don't.
Neither do I.
This isn't how dreams work, from my perspective. Like, well, then again, you can't present it on television. It's too like jarbled and nonsensical.
Yeah, too cerebral.
Yeah, it doesn't. So we have said this is the television dream. Like, yeah. Kiki from Cheese saves Kiki from Cheese. Rockets for Bones. Dogcopter meows. I like it's our first Dogcopter shout out in a while. I don't know if we need more Dogcopter, but
probably not.
I don't know. We've kind of exhausted this.
Honestly, like I barely watched Line 2 or
I guess I need to rewatch all the lines.
Yeah, I guess so, because people just keep talking to you about it and just
yes, I get it. Jane was in Line 3.
It's been literally years. So
yeah, it's been like 2 years since I've seen Line 3. That's why I don't remember. I guess I should rewatch important episodes. That's the conclusion here. Uber got her first concert back in the States since they got banned. Okay. Where are they? Like, where's she going for these concerts? They're not near like things.
I don't know. Maybe they have like a concert venue somewhere.
She has like I don't know. I guess
it's like how in Wildwood they have a concert venue on the boardwalk.
I mean, there's in Rehoboth. There's like this pavilion, but it's not enough for a concert.
Or maybe she just goes to like different city. I don't know. Maybe she goes to like Atlantic City.
Yeah, that would whatever. I don't know if we have that equivalent. I guess. Have we talked about that? I feel like there's an equivalent.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway,
they have Jersey, so I would assume that they would have Atlantic City.
Yeah, I guess so.
And concerts typically happen there.
We can talk about how that works. Covered for you for 2 weeks. The ticket's $40. Is that a lot for a concert? More than average?
It is.
I like that.
I mean, more than like.
I like this exchange, yeah.
More than I would averagely pay for a concert. Like
averagely pay. Yeah.
That's not a word, but like I would.
But Uber got her first concert back. It's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like $40, that'll be a steal if it's their first.
That was a good price Jenny got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite twin kiss. We've done a good job establishing Jenny and Kiki's sibling bond in the past 2 episodes.
It's the same voice actors, right?
Yeah, same voice actors.
Yeah, that's what confused me because like before, like I remember they were twins. I was like, why do they sound the same?
Yeah, well, this is the same person. Yeah,
this is the same person. Yeah.
Good. Dream Kiki was you. Dream Steven was you. Didn't Steve? I like Steven's reaction. Didn't mean to go into your mind. Very Steven reaction. Yeah. I always have that dream. I always drown. Haven't gotten a good night's sleep in weeks. I seriously have that dream every single night.
I don't understand people who have reoccurring dreams like that.
Yeah,
that's
I don't
never
know.
happened to me.
Is that a thing? Like, I know it's a thing on TV, but I haven't had that.
I don't know if it's a thing because it's never happened to me.
I'm sure it's a thing, and that there've been studies on it and stuff, but I don't know.
We're not scientists here. We're just
we're not psychologists. We're not dream psychologists here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's not a thing, but sleep psychologists are a thing.
We're not studying sleep.
I had a unit on sleep in like AP Psych. Does that count?
That's more experience than I'd have.
Okay, my 2 weeks experience, sure.
Yep.
I seriously, yeah. See you later in your dreams. Nice. Dream Warrior, cut the cheese, high five, greatest technique, Jenny leaving.
Yeah, just like a montage.
Yeah, montage. We saw GameCube again, which I thought was notable. It's the first GameCube.
That's not in a while. Super. That's always been in his room.
No. I know, but I haven't seen it in a while.
It's not really that notable.
Well, I noted it because it looks exactly like a GameCube.
Because it is a GameCube.
Have we said? I don't think we've said GameCube though, have we?
It's a GameCube.
I know. It's obviously a GameCube.
When I was a kid, I used to have a GameCube, and it was defective, so it didn't work. So you would whatever game was in there would just freeze like after like sometimes I would have to like turn the console on and off like 20, 30, 50 times just to get a game to work for like an hour.
20, 30, 50 times, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so I also had a GameCube, but it worked.
Yeah, so then I got a Wii and then my games worked.
And then your games worked. The end.
Yep. And then I finally got to experience the breadth of the
of
GameCube
our greatest console of our generation.
Okay, honestly, the GameCube was pretty chill. Let's be real. I liked it.
People are like the GameCube sucked, but then all the cool people like the GameCube. So
Yeah, it was
fine.
great.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway,
It has a really good controller.
it does. Yeah, that is something that's the legacy of the GameCube. Getting into video game discussion for a second. The GameCube's controller, I do think, is like considered one of the best controllers.
Yeah, it is the best controller of all time.
I think people would say like the NES controller. I think that's the
The
contender.
NES, no, it isn't because it's a square and it's uncomfortable for the hands.
I feel like there's one contender. People say like an old school one, but that's anyway. Anyway, there's our
Super Nintendo controller, also not that good.
There's our maybe it was that NES one. There's Dylan and Sam's video game podcast. That's the pilot for it.
Yeah, just us talking about game controllers.
The game.
So we can just talk about things other than this episode because this episode is so unnoteworthy.
I'm going through it right. Okay. Well, we got to finish going through it though.
Yeah, it's like a half hour.
Pizza for breakfast. It's 3:00. You've got to quit your job. Serious problems with pizza. I don't know, Kiki. I think you do. That was an interesting
that was
line
like,
read.
I don't know,
Steven.
Kiki. I think you do.
Interesting Steven line read there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Zach Allison. Pretty
Sarcastic.
Toppings of the problem. Oh yeah, track this back to the sauce.
Oh, that's awful.
Which is interesting because sauce is slang for source anyway.
It's
so on interesting parts of the internet it is. But
I would know.
Yeah. I can't help anymore. Too tired. This concept of Steven getting tired from this power. We'll talk about that at the end. And Nightmares Once and For All. Time to cut the cheese. Chain.
Ew.
Sorry for using the same pun twice. That's not a pun, but I forgive you. That was probably Kiki's best line, I think.
Yeah.
I like that. It's me. Now that is nasty, she says. Anchovies and pepperonas.
Pepperonas.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, you just got that?
Those were the... Okay, I forgot.
Jeez.
I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention.
Come on, Sam. You got to pay closer attention. Obviously, we talk about this episode in a lot of depth and for a large percentage of our discussion.
A lot of consideration.
Yeah. Jenny, thanks. You totally do mind. Your feelings matter. Just tell her no. Don't want to let her down. She's my sister. She cares about you too. She'll want you to. Really cool cheese rave in Pizza Cave tonight, said Pizza to Jenny. I did like this. And she's like, okay, fine. And then that solves the cheese dreams. I like, Kiki having to confront Pizza Jenny was a highlight of the episode. All cheese gone, dreams are weird. Hi, Jenny, helping her fight her inner cheese demons, taking the day off. Twin talk, can't say no to the favorite trim. Then we see Kiki running, which is pretty great. And Steven's like goes to sleep. The end. Okay.
And then Dylan says "Ready, Freddy" to me after he posts the outline.
No, we're not recounting we're not going that far back. Your response was should have been "My name is Lapis." That was the proper response to when I said that.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, you got to work on. You got to work on. That.
I got. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dylan. That's my only.
Should have been "My name is Lapis." Yeah. Okay. Let's quickly talk about the Steven power. So this is like the fifth or sixth iteration of this power now that we've seen.
We're getting a lot of this power, let's
recount it. So because I left out a few episodes the last time we discussed this. So we got your Chilteed, Super Watermelon Island. I don't know if there's other ones, and then the recent ones, right? And then we which did we even see this in? I don't even remember.
Lars.
In New Lars. So I assume there's another one because I was like multiple episodes.
Yeah, I don't remember. Sorry.
I'll look as we go.
Man, Chelsea aired like a year ago.
Yeah, Chelsea did air a year ago. So now Steven can go into dreams. So I think the two notable things are like he can control when he's going into dreams, and two is that he's not actually sleeping when he's in the dreams.
That's concerning.
I think, and I guess Steven can go into dreams is also new information.
It is. I don't know. It's weird, and I don't know where they're going with
this.
Yeah, me neither.
So I previously stated the last time we talked about this was that I think this is kind of beyond the realm of believability unless we explain it. Like there's a lot Steven can do that it's like, okay, he's part gem. I think this is like past that. I think this is too much to not explain. I'm not saying it's like too much yet. I just think they're going to have to explain it at some point. Like, why can you do this? What is this? What specifically are the realms of this power? Like, let's get into that.
Do you mean like you and I get into that, or the show get into that?
The show get into it. I mean, we can get into it. We don't know though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's just like for now, right now, it just feels weird and like I don't know, like it's uncertain. Like I feel like the buildup was like what they did with Super Watermelon Island, but now we just keep doing it, and I feel weird about it.
So I guess we knew that Steven could go into dreams from Chilteed if that was a dream, or if he's actually going into their minds. I don't know. But now we know he can go into dreams. He can kind of control it. He can go into people. He can go into dreams, and he can go into Watermelon Stevens. What's the answer? I don't know. This is a really. I mean, this is an excuse for them to talk about consent again and like invasiveness, and that's all good and stuff. But I am interested to see like the purpose of us doing this with Steven. Like, where are we leading to? Did they have some big event in mind and it's like, okay, let's backtrack? Or is it like, this is the plan all along, like some larger vision with Rose? Like, narrative events are purposeful. Like, there's a reason we're giving Steven this power, and I'm interested to see when we get that, because I don't think we've seen it yet.
Yeah, I think it might be like tying into like a bigger like Rose based narrative.
Yeah. I think that's true. I think we're going to get a big Rose plot at the end of the season. And I'm not sure like what it's going to manifest in. But like, I feel like since we've been getting these and we had the Steven floats, like I feel like we're building towards something with Rose with Steven. And I'm not sure because I don't like, I think it would make sense for me if like Rose came back for an episode in some form. Like if in the finale, Steven like flipped into Rose.
She just comes back as a ghost.
I mean, and people like don't think that's gonna happen, but like, okay, like what's the other version of this? Like, there's a lot of possibilities. Obviously, it could be anything. So I think that's interesting. Like, where are we? We're 100% gonna get something big with Rose.
She'll just be like Mufasa or something. Like come back like in the clouds.
We kind of got that with her on the piano in Mr. Greg, right? Like Steven.
Yeah, I
Rose
guess.
Came up. Yeah, I don't know.
But you know what I mean. Like she'll like her spirit will like take a form or whatnot.
Yeah, some big Rose development is in IMO. We're gonna get a lot. We got to get into the new gem next week. We got to get into the Rose development at some point, and we got to get into like presumably Yellow Diamond's gonna do something still. Although we genuinely don't have spoilers about that. That's not spoilers, but like I. Well,
didn't Dee Dee say that she sung with Yellow Diamond's VA?
I guess maybe there a musical Yellow Diamond number. I mean, it has to happen. With
yeah,
it has to happen. So that'll be great. So we have all that to get into, and there's not a ton of episodes left. There's where are we at? We're at 13 now left in the season.
Really?
Right?
Yeah.
2 weeks plus 3. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What season are we? Are we in season 3? I think we are.
This is technically season 3 according to Cartoon Network. In production, this is the end of season 2, which is 52 episodes long.
Who knows anymore?
Yeah. So this is the end of season 2. So in production. So that's interesting. So anyway, that's Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service. For me, it's like a 6, maybe a 5.5. You know, on the Dylan scale, 5 is an average episode of TV.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't want to rate it.
That's fine.
I don't adhere to the rule of Dylan.
Yeah, you don't want to adhere to society, and
no, I don't.
Yeah. Tomorrow, big episode, Monster Reunion. We'll be there to cover it all. Thursday, big episode, Alone at Sea. We'll be there to cover it all. I'm very hyped for Thursday. Rebecca Sugar did boards on Thursday's episode for the first time since Keystone Motel. Yeah. And Friday, Greg the Babysitter, also a big episode. So gonna be fun.
Just a lot of stuff just happening.
I'm glad we got our general Steven Universe discussion out of the way now. So
I'm glad that you and I did it together.
Bonding moment, yeah. Let us know what you thought of what we discussed. I assume.
Let us know if you like Sam and Dylan just being on podcast together.
Yeah, let us know what your review is. Give us iTunes reviews for the Sam and Dylan's video game controller pilot. Yeah, tell us what you thought.
Yeah, just tell us what your favorite video game controller is.
Yeah, tell us. That's the hashtag for the podcast. Your favorite video game controller. Hashtag like GameCube controller. That'll be your hashtag.
I think people usually think that the N64 controller was the worst.
Yeah, I mean that's not a great controller. it's obvious, it's awkward and it's
But
it's a classic though, So
yeah, it's so weird.
Maybe like the PlayStation controller, like
The one without the analog sticks, that's bad. With analog sticks, it's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, let's know your thoughts on that on my giant rant about the show. It wasn't really a rant; it was just like a discussion.
It was an observation.
It's an observation. I'm not angry, But anyway,
it was a discussion based off of an observation.
Exactly.
About how the plot is going.
Yep.
With.
Yep.
The episode structure.
Yep. There you go. So that being said, we'll get into big plot stuff. So instantly subverted. So there you go. Dylan Nice and Sam Quattro, overlyanimated.com. And
don't you have to say your patrons and
stuff?
Yeah,
that's the next part. You can support us by becoming a patron at patreon.com/overlyanimated. I missed the list. Come on, where is it?
Yeah, this is why you should pre-record it.
Then I have to edit it in every time. It's so annoying.
Yeah, well, whatever you want to do.
Thank you very much to Mitch Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, Jamie, Rachel, John, Ryan, Catherine, Taylor, Davon, and Jade, a.k.a. Fever, Mitch, Corner, Sleep, Exchange, Nathan, Fillion, Buzz Like Your Mailman, Richard, Jenny, Robert, Brian, Cook, Cat, Needle. Do you want to come up with, and Jewel, and do you want to come up with a nickname right now for Davon? Can you do it?
Davon, what is Davon like?
Steven Universe, Voltron, I think. You don't watch that. And Cora, I think.
Davon. Faustino. Because your name is like David Faustino.
I don't know about that one.
Mako.
Could be Mako, I guess.
I don't know. Probably wouldn't like that.
I don't like that. Mako burns even on Overly Animated. We even get them in here on the new podcast.
So. Davon.
Anyway.
Davon's not in our Patreon group, is it?
No. Yeah, not all the patrons in the Patreon group, but you can look at the tiers on patreon.com/overlyanimated.
You should be in our Patreon group.
So okay, we'll think about it. We'll keep thinking about it. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you tomorrow for... What is that episode even called?
Monster Reunion.
Monster Reunion. Gonna be fun. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.